Hi guys, welcome to Hoops Junction. Today is media day and Doc Rivers is at it again. Last year, if you recall, he said that the Golden State Warriors were lucky to win the NBA title. He said, no, it's health, they're lucky. This year, when asked about the Warriors, he said he doesn't see any gap between his team and any other team in the NBA, including the Warriors. So that's all fine and dandy, and I like that take on it. I like the fact that he's old school. He doesn't want to bend to anybody's will. He doesn't want to say this team is just as good or we're better. He just wants to say we're going to all compete. We're all going to, shoot it in the barrel. We're going to see who comes out. And that's all fine and dandy. But honestly speaking, for Doc Rivers, Clippers, last time they beat the Warriors was like 4 years ago. And Curry wasn't even at his peak. There was still a lot of David Lee was still on the team. And the Clippers had a lot more firepower. Now, you look at the Clippers now, they're a much different team. I mean, I still think they have Prigioni as their backup. Chris Paul's coming off injury. Blake Griffin, we know what we're going to get out of him. Highlight dunks, but offensively, he's limited. And when I mean limited, he's very predictable. Defensively, he can play defense, but it's not consistent. DeAndre Jordan gives you good defense, but he doesn't give you great offense. So right then there off the bat, we pretty much know what we're going to get from the Clipper team. We've been getting the same thing over and over. They could get close, but really no cigar. With the Warriors, we've seen a progression. A progression which has been like unmatched by any other team. They are the best regular season team record-wise in NBA history. They have Steph Curry. They have Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. They still have a solid bench from Andre Iguodala and Livingston. Now you add Kevin Durant to the mix, and the heavens have opened. Because not only was the Warrior team defeating the Clippers team without KD, now with KD, it's like a whole new ball game. It's like they were like 10 paces ahead of you, now they're like 30 paces ahead of you. So I understand Doc Rivers saying that he doesn't believe that any team there's any gap between his team and the Warriors, but I think honestly he should give his team motivation or firepower to strive for. He should say, they said they're better than us, and I'm telling you that they're better than us. So what are we going to do about it? How are we going to get better? How are we going to improve? How can we compete? Because if you think about it, last year Steve Kerr said that the Spurs were the best team in the NBA because they had Kawhi Leonard, they had LaMarcus Aldridge, Tim Duncan, Tony Parker. They had, honestly, like if they were to go to the finals, which they got knocked out, if they were to go to the finals, they would have been just as dominant as the Warriors the first 4 games. So that being said, even Coach Kerr was willing to admit a team was better than his. Now it's what are you going to do after that? How are you going to get better? How are you going to improve? So I like Doc Rivers' blind confidence, but I don't like it because his players are too arrogant. Like the Clippers already feel, if you look at the way that they come on the court, the way that they defend, the way that they execute and the lack of execution, you would have thought that they won 4 to 5 championships already. I love Chris Paul. He's my guy, but I feel like he has to give up the ball a little bit more. Blake Griffin has to assert himself way more, and he has to open up his game, get a counter for every move. And DeAndre Jordan just has to learn how to score more. But the way that they play, it's like you don't really see an improvement. It's just like the same thing, the pick and roll, Lob City. It's like nothing else. Nothing else is changing. And that's just weird. It's weird. And you would think they won like 10 titles and then now, they're on the back 9. But that's not the case. They want to compete just like anybody else. And I feel like Doc should have took that little comment, that little question and said, you know what, they're better than us, but we're coming for them. Something to that degree. Because if you don't see a gap, then that means that you're saying that, okay, I understand everybody in the NBA is a professional. But what you're saying is you don't really see a big reason for you to chase anything or to improve anything because there's no gap between you and the Warriors. When clearly there's a huge gap because they had the best record in the NBA. They set a world record. They went to back-to-back NBA finals, and you haven't been to one NBA finals. So I think that he should have used that as motivation and ammunition for his guys. Like, look, they're already down us. They're already comparing us to the Warriors. How are we going to respond? How are we going to get better? And I think that's the take that he should have took on it. But I love his old school mentality because a lot of guys, you know, even if they're not as good as somebody, they're like, man, he ain't better than me. I ain't trying to hear it. He ain't better than me. You remember your 5th, 6th, 7th grade tryouts where clearly there was a guy better than you. You just didn't want to admit it. But when you got on the court, the separation was there. As opposed to, let's just say that guy had a friend that he said, yeah, he's better than me. But every day you see him on the court getting a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better, to the point where he's almost equal to the guy that he said is better than him. And I think that's the take they should have took on it. But now with Durant, the court opens up even wider. And I'm sorry for the Western Conference, but it is what it is. This is Vlad from Hoops Junction, where Hoops meets Hoopla. Peace.